Mike Hosking Breakfast, 6 to 9 weekdays on Newstalk ZB.
You know, there you would like to think that the haters and the conspiracy theorists felt sick to their stomachs when the Princess of Wales went public with her cancer battle, wouldn't you? No, it wasn't, as it turns out, a Brazilian bum lift. No, it wasn't an affair. Yes, it was. Well, she was the person that you saw on the video at the farm shop at Windsor. I'm not sure there's anything that can be done per se, but if you read the Australian E-Safety Commissioner's report out last week, Julie Inman-Grant describes just how astonishingly lax the social media giants are when it comes to filth that they allow on their platforms. Now, somewhere along the way, we've decided free speech trumps all, and worse, the people who run these platforms have decided making money out of that is good business, while at the same time pretending they care and are working hard to be decent corporate citizens. There are questions too, I would have thought, to be answered by every advertiser, and that includes local advertisers here in New Zealand, who spend millions upon millions of dollars on platforms that are largely unregulated and peddle the worst of us. How do you defend putting your product and brand next to the sort of muck so readily available on your nearest screen? Now, the Commissioner's report in Australia dealt a lot with paedophilia and criminal activity, and obviously the Princess of Wales's news doesn't fall anywhere near that. Indeed, the sort of low-rent behaviour we've seen of late isn't even illegal. It's just stupid and nasty and low rent. But it is a lesson in the human condition. When left to our own devices collectively, it turns out we're not up to much. If I have one criticism of the royal family, the quid pro quo of who they are is there is an engagement with the public, and once you have set that particular precedent, you can't manipulate it to suit your circumstances. The relationship is built through good times and bad. You can't put out the Christmas message on the good days and then vanish when the news is not so good. Look at what happens. So they would have been wise to say what they have finally got around to saying perhaps a little bit earlier. That doesn't make the vacuum that got filled with filth right, but it is a two-way street. The King was praised, of course, for his forthrightness and the help and comfort it would undoubtedly bring to millions of fellow sufferers. The Princess will now most likely achieve the same thing. But the King doesn't have young children, and the King doesn't have the bulk of his life ahead of him. So you'd be heartless not to have given the Prince and Princess the room they needed to navigate what for the rest of us is often a deeply shocking and difficult time. As much as they could have got out earlier with this, you were left with the impression they got flushed out by the onslaught, the sheer horribleness that pervades too much of the social landscape.
The Mike Hosking Breakfast, 6 to 9 weekdays on Newstalk ZB.